Welcome, everybody, to the Life Between All or Nothing. I'm Scott J,
And I'm Mary Kay.
and we are coming to you at a different time tonight. I recognize that, and I realize that, and I appreciate anybody out there who's joining us. It's usually at 7 tonight, 7:30. We're gonna do, we're not gonna do a short show, but we'll do 45 minutes or so. But I was traveling, and I did not want to come up against it where I was late for the show. So it was easier just to start a little bit later. But I've been on the road. I've been training. I trained great men and women of the Port St. Lucie Fire Department up in
Nice.
Port St. Lucie, Florida. And they were wonderful people. And, if any of them out there catching this later on or watching it now, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you do at the Port St. Lucie Fire. You guys are good quality people and heroes, one and all. So thank you for all you do. That was my day. How have you been, Mary Kay?
I've been okay. We actually haven't talked in a couple of weeks, like actually talked. Um,
No, quick messages here and there, but it's usually
yeah.
I text you, it takes about 2 hours, then you text me back, then it takes me about 3 hours, then I text you back. And that's I think that we're both so extremely busy that this is kind of what we're up against, right?
Well, we are busy. And did you notice I cut most of my hair off? You probably didn't
I think
notice.
your hair looks fabulous.
Thank you. So that was one thing I did. Um, I've kind of been on a bit of a phone diet and a social media diet of the elimination kind.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
you
So
replacing it with genuine human contact or simply just taking a break from the world?
Kind of taking a break from the world, but mostly social media and the phone, right? So I felt like I needed a reset. Um, I've got some health stuff coming up for myself that, you know, actually triggered the idea for this episode, which is I think we're on episode 28, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yes, this is episode 28.
Woohoo! So yeah, I think I'm in the eye of the storm of a second midlife crisis. That's where I think I am. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do and how to get through it. And, I can share some of the things here.
I
Um,
want you to share that.
yeah,
Um, I think because of my past and the things that I've done,
yeah,
that any kind of crisis I have in midlife is kind of tame compared to how I lived for a lot of years with my
yeah.
addictions and my anger and all those things that I carried with me. Um, and I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't know that I've actually grown up enough uh, in here to actually reach that midlife freeze. But oh my goodness, Georgia is with us, listening, here to listen. Thank you for joining us. Uh,
Hi, Georgia.
appreciate you being here. But
I can't
anyway,
see the comments. Are you putting the comments up on the screen?
oh, here
Because
we
I
go.
can't see them if you are.
She just putting up here says here to listen,
Oh,
here
there
to
we
listen.
go. Hi, Georgia.
Yeah. Now we're sharing again midlife crisis type information, but it doesn't have to be a full blown midlife crisis. I mean, I'm not out buying sports cars or doing things like that, but there are certain things that kind of come about. There are things that we do um, that just maybe out of the norm or starts to make us feel different or something. I don't know. Give us a little clue about some of the things that you have experienced with this.
Well, I think one of the main things is coming to face or facing or thinking about or excessive thinking about my own mortality. So I'm in a situation now, and I'll just share, I've just found out that I have arthritis, which was not really a surprise. But because it's something that really can't be reversed and it's something you just have to manage for the rest of your life. And yeah, it sucks getting old and blah, blah, blah. I see my parents with their experience with arthritis, and basically they, worked all their lives towards having a great retirement and saving for retirement, and then they retire, and then they're just sitting around because they're too sick or disabled or in pain or something to enjoy their lives. So here I am looking, I'm 30 years behind them. And so I'm looking at it going, holy crap, that's my future? Like, could it be? So having that feeling of running out of time and running out of healthy time is a little bit of what's kind of sparking what's going on with me right now. So that's one thing, is that.
Okay.
The other thing too is, looking around at other people, and I mean, I'm a coach. I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves, but I do. Right?
Right.
I think it's kind of natural. And I see that, well, they seem really happy. How come I just seem kind of flat and blah? And what am I doing wrong? And I guess it also brings up some regrets too. Like, I mean, when I was 19 or 20, I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to work as a writer. And I didn't do it. I went the normal, traditional route, going to school, get a degree. I actually went to college as well and got a college diploma. And, ended up, I've jumped careers 3 times. I've moved around a lot. And I think a lot of it has been thrill seeking. And the thrill for me comes in the learning. It's like, yeah, I made it. I got into this role. Now I got to learn it.
Yeah.
And so it's me just getting into, like, so I'm answering that call, right? Like, so something is going on in me. I'm feeling my emotions are kind of weird. I've been kind of having some dark nights of the soul, maybe not to that extent, but just feeling a little unhappy. So it's like, okay, something is calling and I'm going to answer the call.
Yeah.
And what that means for me is like, okay, I'm going to take a look and try and figure out, okay, what's behind some of this stuff that's going on in my mind, and what can I do about it? So it's like, what's happening and what can I do about it? So, and I think there's some other signs. I took some other signs that and the signs of midlife crisis are different for everyone, and maybe not everyone has them or has a midlife crisis. So here's some signs. Regrets. You're dissatisfied with your life choices up until now. Unfulfilled dreams. So yeah, check that one off. General unhappiness. So I kind of feel like I'm going towards that.
All right.
The mortality thing, anxiety or sadness. Yeah, definitely that. I'm there. Feeling restless and trapped.
All right.
Becoming reckless. That's a sign. I'm not doing that, but some people do that. Some people decide to do some reckless things, no matter whatever that might mean. A sudden desire for change, or it feels sudden, like like something's got to change. I need something to change. People worried about aging, worried about they've lost their youth, that their best years are behind them, and now it's all downhill from here. Some people feel that. Some people feel some physical things like insomnia. They're not sleeping well, they're not eating well. And so those are just some of the signs that might point to people being in a midlife crisis or going down that path.
Well, let's start with something here. Let's start with maybe let's relabel that for a moment as a midlife evaluation as opposed to a midlife crisis. The crisis is what we create when we look at our lives. So I look at it and it's like, oh my God, I'm in crisis. I did not achieve what I wanted to achieve. I didn't make what I wanted to make. I didn't become what I wanted to become, and all these things. I'm in crisis. Oh my God. And here I am, I'm 56 years old and I'm looking at things, and I certainly understand, because I've had those moments where I've had to look at things and say, 56 freaking years. And what have you done? I mean, yes, I've done some things, but I didn't do other things. So, but the crisis comes from me. If I decide now, after not doing something for 56 years, now I'm in crisis, I have to do it. Really? I think if I live 56 years, I can go one more year. I could take my time, and if I really want to do something, I'll do it. But the midlife evaluation, do we have to turn it into a crisis? A lot of those things that you read, amazingly, are signs of anxiety, depression, or mental health issues. Those
Yeah.
are all like a lot of what you said. Those descriptions could describe any one of those things.
Yeah.
Is there a reason to
Yeah.
be depressed? First of all right, let's start with this. We made it this far. Let's start with that. We made it this far. Okay. Not everybody did. I got a lot of friends I could count. It would take, I'd have to take off my shoes because it's not just 10 fingers on one hand. I need my toes to count too, about the close people I
Yeah.
lost who didn't make it this
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. And that's a good reframe, Scott. I mean, you're reframing. People are thinking like, look at me and look at what I've done and how, what I didn't do. And then you can think of those people and say, yeah, you know what? I made it this far. I made
Yeah.
it.
You made it this far, and I have the cognizance. I have the wherewithal to actually look at my life and evaluate it. Some people don't have that. They don't have the
that's right.
mental fortitude to do that. I still have all my faculties, or at least as many as I ever had. It ain't a great deal, ladies and gentlemen, but it's enough to get me by. And I know how to smile, and I know how to laugh. I know how to bring a laughter to other people. There's a lot of things I can look at my life and I can say, God, I wish I did this when I was young. You look behind me, and this painting thing is really important to me. My art it's become very important.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick up a brush until a year and a half ago. It was a year and a half ago I picked up brush. And I had to, in next month, in July, we are launching Sober Life Art. It's actually, everything's set up. And I'm having a live show at a gallery where they're going to have music and food and highlight me and my art.
That's amazing.
I'm 56 freaking years old. You know what my first thought was, Mary? You know what my first thought was? Why didn't I start this when I was younger? Instead of my first thought being, holy shit, how cool is this?
Yeah.
I got to look at it. I got to think about, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I do it earlier? Because I was not in a place to do it. I am now.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't earlier, I would have.
Different chapter where the art didn't fit in, or you didn't get exposed, or I mean, a lot of people feeling like they're having some kind of a crisis.
Georgia wants to make a comment here. She says, good point. It feels like a crisis, but it's natural to want to reset and reevaluate your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual, and financial too. So
that's exactly right.
There's nothing wrong with sitting back and evaluating. But is it the end all and be all that you didn't dot every I or cross every T? Is it the end all and be all that you're not where your neighbor is? Because I guarantee, listen, I know me, and I know a little bit about you, Mary Kay. We weren't meant to live normal lives. If we were, we would be doing it. You bucked the system. Your family had normal lives. They had planned out about how you were supposed to live. You bucked the system. You said, that's not me.
Yeah.
Don't curse the ocean if we sailed in another direction. All right. That was what we did. And it put us right here, but it put me here with stories that other people don't have, with experiences that other people don't have. Do I have regrets? Of course I got some regrets, but I do not live in shame and guilt about them. I simply say, try not to make that mistake again. But we sailed against the wind. We went different directions. We took the road less traveled. So you can't compare yourself to everybody who's stuck to the highways, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. It is a time, like Georgia was saying, for reevaluating and reframing some of those things. And as far as some of the regrets that I might have, I'm working to just accept that, and some external circumstances that I have no control over. It's like, why am I going to spend energy worrying about them or judging them or any energy on external things when I can just accept, okay, that's that. And maybe there's a way to work around it, or maybe there is, where there's a will, there's a way. And so maybe there's some dreams that I had that I'll just say, okay, you know what? I didn't do them, and I'm okay with that because maybe there's something else. And so writing was one of those dreams that I was not willing to put to bed. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm, I started writing in 2020. Um, I've done well, and now I want to do more of it. But I had to take a bit of a reset. I had to take a pause, because it feels like that's what my intuition is telling me, right? So this midlife crisis thing, and it feels like the second one for me. I'm taking it as an opportunity to. I don't need to make big changes, but I do need to take a pause. Maybe I need to eliminate some things and then decide what I want to bring back into my life,
That's
right? The
well
the
put.
elimination diet.
Yeah, it's spring cleaning. We finally got
Spring
around to
cleaning,
it.
yeah.
Every year we say, hey, we should do spring cleaning. We should do spring cleaning. And we don't do it. Then finally, when we mature enough and we have the patience and the tolerance to do it, we take everything out. We look at it. We decide, is it going back in? Is it going to go in the same place? Am I rearranging my life? Am I going to clean these corners, paint these walls? What am I going to do? And then you
Yep.
kind of rearrange things. I think that, Jean's with us. Hi, Jean. Good to have you here.
Hi,
And
Jean.
she's saying sorry she was late, but hey, you're never late because our podcast, you can watch it from the beginning anytime you want. So I love the way you're describing it. You make it sound so good as far as it's a chance to sit there and just kind of evaluate, what am I happy with? What am I not happy with? What do I want to change? And then know
Yeah.
that if I'm thinking I can change it, I can change it. Can I go back and change the past? No.
No,
But
no. But you have control.
I can create different meanings out of my past by what I
Yes, you
do with them
can.
today. My past, I could spend a lot of time hiding my past from people and trying to deny what I was and what I did. I could spend a lot of time
Yeah.
doing that, but I chose to use it to inspire others. So I share my past. I share those
Yeah.
scary, dark, nasty pieces of Scott. I put them out there that I wasn't a good guy. I was downright evil for a good part of my life. I terrorized my wife and my children, and I drank myself nearly to death. I share those things because now they take on those weaknesses and now become my strengths. So when I look back now, I'm looking back like, thank God I went through that because my conversation today might have stopped somebody else. And if I didn't have that experience, I couldn't have done that.
Yeah,
So things
that's
take
right.
on new meanings when we look back at them too. It's almost like we should be doing this anyway. We should be doing this once a year, not waiting until we're in our 40s and 50s to look back on things, right?
I agree with you. I think especially when we reach our 50s, if we haven't been doing it, it's time to start doing it and evaluating. And I think evaluating from the perspective of where am I right now in what's important to me or what's important to me right now? Because my values in my early 40s are not the same as my values here in my 50s. They're not the same. So I want to
Absolutely.
hold up things to that. Like that's going to be one of the meter sticks.
Absolutely. George is adding in. George, I want to ask you, do you remember where you and I first met? I just want to ask if she remembers that. We've been friends on Facebook a long time, but does she remember where we first met? Okay. And she says, and who is worthy of being on this next leg of our journey?
Yeah.
And who and what do you value today for you? Those are absolutely. Again, we're not taking the midlife crisis into a crisis now. Let's talk about it like this is evaluation time. And as I move into the next stage of what I'm doing in my next evolution, let's call it my next evolution, what serves me and what doesn't serve me? What do I want to bring and what don't I want to bring? Who has been there and who is not working for me? And it's not, we don't want to make things disappear. Okay. She gave me the answer. Firewalk. She was my firewalk buddy at Tony Robbins.
Cool.
We had never met before. We just ended up being, she was across the aisle with people and I was across the aisle and I didn't have anybody. We looked at each other and says, are we buddies? We're buddies. Boom. And we're actually met that night and we did the firewalk together.
I love it.
You and me from Syracuse. You remembered my dad, Big George. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was just a happenstance. Georgia, thank you for remembering. I still have my ashes from my firewalk on my mantle.
Wow.
I still have the ashes from that firewalk, and I still have a scar on my foot where I got that little piece of coal stuck to my foot.
Oh,
Jeannie said something interesting. If mistakes make you stronger, I can lift a train. That's a beautiful. Think about that. If mistakes make us stronger, which they do, she says, I can lift a train. If we've lived this long making the mistakes we made and done the things, what can't we do? What
Yeah.
can't we do, right?
What
It's just
can't we do?
beautiful. You guys, thank you for the comments, and Georgia and Jean
Mm-hmm.
and everybody else out there. We got a bunch of people watching, just a couple of people commenting, but that's fine. And I want to thank everybody for coming in later tonight because I was busy and I couldn't get to on 7 o'clock time. So where are we going with this? Midlife crisis. Midlife you can't change. You're going to hit it. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. We make this determination about this is my midlife. We don't know. We don't know. Somebody who dies at 70, their midlife is 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who dies at 80, their midlife is 40. Somebody who dies at 90, it's 45. Somebody dies at 100, it's 50. And, and if you're one of those freaks that think they're going to live to be 120 years old, like Karen does, just because she heard somebody lived almost that long and she's like, I got to beat them. I'm going to live longer. And I have no doubt that Karen will, my business partner. But
I love that. Karen saying, so there's a chance.
So 60 is her midlife.
Yeah.
It's an arbitrary thing. I think what we do is we use it to try to make things, it's almost like, okay, I'm feeling off. I need to put a label on it and I need to make a big deal out of it. Instead of just saying, you know what? It's an evaluation. I'm looking at things. Some things I'm happy with, some things I'm not. Why do I have to turn this into the crisis that it is? I almost think we just sometimes we enjoy having crisis. It's not, it's kind of human. We enjoy crisis. It's like a game show. Let's make a big deal. All right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Look who's with us.
You're right.
Lynn is with us. Hello.
Oh, hello, beautiful Lynn.
So what do you think about that, Mary Kay?
Yeah, you're right. I think sometimes we do want to slap a label on something because we want to name it so that then we can deal with it. Maybe like that could be something behind it. Sure. Or maybe we like the drama. I don't know. I mean,
sometimes we all do. There's nothing wrong with that.
Whatever it is, like once you start feeling like something's not right, or you're just generally not enjoying your life, enjoying your day.
Yeah.
Look at it, embrace it as a potential transition period, and it's an opportunity for growth. So that's how I'm looking at it for me in this particular time where I'm sort of up and down, up and down, up and down. It's an opportunity for my growth and where do I want to take it? And I think one thing that I realized, and in just this past week, I realized it fully or believed it fully, is I've lived 55 years. I've done a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff. And it made me feel valuable. Like when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I've got a lot of wisdom to share with the next generation. And if I do nothing else, that's something I'm definitely going to do. Right? Whenever I get a chance, however I get a chance, I'm going to share some of the things that I've learned because, I want people to live a life that's aligned with their values. And, a lot of mine was generational, familial expectations.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want people to feel like they have a sense of freedom and can enjoy their life because so something happened today, which I can't really share the details because it was something at work. And I said to the other person, I was like, you know what? Is this really going to matter when you're 80? Is it? Like, how big of a deal is it? Is it really that big of a deal that you're going to spend your precious time and energy today to worry about this thing.
Yeah.
No, it's really not that big of a deal. And just log out and go for a walk.
I had a sponsor at one point who told me the same thing, but it was not quite as kind about it as you were.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, Scott, in 100 years, nobody's going to give a shit. So all the worrying you're doing now, nobody cares. All right. Just go be. And go be a
Yeah.
good person. Go be a decent person. Pass on what you know. You're right. Mary Kay, the best thing we could do is, we went through our bumps and our bruises and our ups and our downs so we can share them with the world.
Yeah.
Lynn, by the way, is actually at the Denver airport getting ready to fly.
Oh, cool.
She said, get rid of labels and don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gina's saying, I feel guilty about my past when things are going well. I feel like I don't deserve it subconsciously, or do something that causes me drama or worse. You self-sabotage because you're looking at yourself saying, well, because I haven't been perfect, I don't deserve perfect happiness. And that's bullshit. We all deserve perfect happiness and perfect joy.
I want to chime in on that too, Scott.
Please do.
I mean, I think especially at this time of our lives, we've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we're not proud of right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Self-compassion, like if the one thing you take out of this episode tonight is having compassion for ourselves, that we're not that person anymore. So, no matter what mistakes you've made, you're not that person anymore, and you can make different choices now. So from this day forward, okay, make different choices. If you regret that choice, then don't do it again. And I'm saying that even though it could be serious things like hurting other people.
Yeah.
Right? You're not that same person anymore, and you can be compassionate with yourself, and you can make a different choice the next time. Like you said, there's no way to go back and change the past. You can reframe it, and that was your journey. That was part of your journey. Maybe it was something that was meant to happen, a choice you were meant to make.
Absolutely.
And now you can make different choices.
Absolutely. I gotta worry about somebody who looks back at their past with no regret.
Yeah.
Because the stuff I did when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, I thought I was invincible. I thought I could do anything. For me, as a full-grown ass man, I hate that statement, but as a grown man of 56 years old, to me to look back on my life, I better look at my 19s and 20s and even 16s and 17s or the 20s and the 25s. I better look at those times and say, holy shit, why did I do that? Oh my God. At the time, I was using a young brain from a young body, from a young perspective with a whole different thing. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back. Okay. Mm-hmm. So as we get older, our perspective changes. Everything changes. We see things differently. I'm going to tell you something amazing, though. I guarantee it, because of the human psyche. If we were to go back in time and say, I would do things different, the minute you put you in the same place that you were back then, you will be you just like you were then. You wouldn't change because you are who you are. And when given that circumstance, that moment, that time frame, you don't get to change that. That's who you are. And if you went back, you would make the same decisions. You got to look back. If you're not looking back every once in a while and cringing at the shit that you've done, look further. No. But it doesn't define us today. It's simply part of our path. Therese has joined us. Hey, Therese.
Hi, Therese.
We skipped our show last night. Therese and I were the exes, so it's going to be next week because Therese was at Quinn's birthday, her granddaughter's birthday party. So that was worth missing the show for. Okay, I've made mistakes for sure. Those are what make me the woman I am today. Listen to that. I'm going to read that again. I've made mistakes for sure. Those are what make me the woman that I am today. I am learning to just let it go.
Yeah,
sing it like
let it go.
Like Frozen.
Let it go. I can't sing.
Let it go. And,
there you go.
Little Ethel Merman in there for you.
And there are some things that we can learn to let go. And it might be a process to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go and more importantly, like you said, that we can make new memories. We can also make new mistakes too. We can have some fun,
Absolutely, we're going to.
right? It's like, hey, are you my next mistake? I don't know.
I don't want to live with people who don't make mistakes. I don't want to be friends with people who don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Georgia saying she loves this. Georgia, we go back, quite a ways there to the Walking on Fire. I know you got your husband and kids, and I forgot where you are. You're up north somewhere, and I see you're doing great and everything. You ever want to be on the show with me and Mary Kay? Just send us a messenger that you would like to be on the show and talk about. What we talk about is pretty much adulthood, making changes, being happy in adulthood, especially later in life. Just being happy,
Yeah.
and doing those things. She said she would love it. Yeah, absolutely. We open the door for
Yeah.
everybody to be on. If you got
For
something you'd like to share,
sure.
just message us and let us know, and then we'll start scheduling people out. It's been a little tough lately. I want to thank we had Teresa on our show a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's always good. So what is the moral of the story today, ladies and gentlemen? Is you could look back all you want. You could look at your life and say, I should be somewhere else. But if you were supposed to be, you would be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be because that's exactly where you put yourself. And you put yourself there because each decision you made took you there. Now, if you're not happy with where you are, if the decision to turn left instead of right brought you to where you are, then start turning right instead of left and start doing things differently. It's never too late.
Yeah.
Would I have loved to have been doing art at 20 years old? No, I wouldn't have. Why? Because I was busy riding motorcycles and picking up girls. That's what I was doing. I wasn't an artist then. I'm an artist now, today. I've always wanted to be a writer, and unlike, the lovely Mary Kay, who has written beautiful articles and written things, I haven't done that yet. I've done very little writing. I do writing for work. I write programs and training programs and things like that. I want to write a book about me, maybe a book about maybe even a fiction, or some science fiction thing. I just want to write. I haven't done it yet. When it's time for me to do it, I will grab a pen and paper, which I'm completely capable of, and I'll start writing it. Don't beat yourself up for shit that you're really not doing, because if I'm not writing, it simply means it's not important enough for me yet. So why do I beat myself up? Because it's not. If I wanted to be writing, I'd be writing.
Exactly. And, it's a time in our lives when we have less fear, I think, of trying new things now. We can try new things. We can explore new things because there might be something in this new thing, like you found painting and art, that could take you further. So maybe you find a new hobby. Maybe you find a new community, like a social group. Maybe it's yoga. And I think the more not angry and not stressed and not unhappy we can be, that's going to extend our lives as well. So you think you're midlife, you want to extend that a little bit more by 7 to 10 years, maybe. Like somebody said earlier, don't sweat the small stuff. That's one thing, because we can control how we think about things.
Absolutely.
We can change that thought. And there's things we can do. Like I recently heard about studies on awe, like AWE, awe, and how bringing awe into your life on a daily basis can actually extend your life by 7, maybe 10 years.
Explain what you mean by awe, because for me, that means, because every day I'm saying, oh, shit. Is that what we're talking about?
No,
Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
No, so awe. So maybe I will, something like how to practice. It's a practice and it's an emotion. So maybe I pick up this Sharpie, right? And I look at it and I'm looking at it with the way that, wow, somebody thought of this, not just its function, but its design. And look at how light reflects off the black top, and look at how light reflects off of that. And oh my God, there's laws of physics, and it's having that, oh wow, feeling like there's something bigger
It's the
bigger than
idea
you.
of looking at things with childlike wonder
Yeah,
is
exactly.
like,
Yep.
because to me, when I was a kid watching people like cars, and I'm
Mm.
like, I can't wait to drive. How amazing is that? And I remember when I first started driving, it felt like an awesome feeling of power and freedom and all that stuff. Now I don't even like to drive. I'd rather be I'd rather be a passenger 90% of the time. Plus, I love navigating. I just hate driving. It's just me. But keeping those moments, the first time you tasted a frozen yogurt, and the first time that you do certain things, or the first time you look at something, and maybe to have some of that and to take a moment, that is kind of that stopping to smell the roses idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And yeah, on a daily basis, as many times as you can do it. Going out for a walk and look at the dandelion, maybe cut the dandelion and look at the perfection in its symmetry. Like, how does that even happen? And so
Yeah.
bringing up that feeling yourself, and then also watching other people. So if you see somebody buy a homeless person lunch, and you stand there in awe at their kindness and their compassion, that gives you that benefit as well. So watching other people, um
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like Christmas morning watching the kids open their presents,
Yeah.
and just having those moments, which are incredible. And it's just it's stopping, it's taking a moment, it's reserving judgment against yourself and judgment
Yeah.
against your past, and just experiencing what's in front of you right this moment. People talk about mindfulness a lot. Mindfulness is
Yeah.
simply about being very present in your very moment, in this
Yeah.
very moment, being present, understanding that where I am, this space I take up is who I am. This moment is who I am. This moment is of my creation, and all these things. And when you could really do that, you could really kind of sense other things around you that are incredible. When you're so wrapped up in all the other shit, the shit I didn't do today, the shit I should have done today, the shit I did today that I didn't want to do, and you get all that shit put together, and that's when you get the awe shit. I'm just saying, let's just have some awe. Let's have some
Hmm.
moments of just peace and serenity and and amazement. I'm going to speak for Therese because she's joined us today, and I appreciate it as always. But she spent a day yesterday, and she had pictures on Facebook of her granddaughter, Quinn, who
Mm.
had just turned 4, I believe.
Aw.
And and she looks so pretty. And more importantly, I was looking at a child who is completely happy. And
Mm.
knowing Teresa's daughter and her husband, and knowing the kind of people that they are, and knowing the grandmother that Teresa's, there's no reason they wouldn't be happy, this child. But to see it in
Mm.
a photo, and then to sit there and look at that and say, this is the joy that's in the world that I can be a part of anytime I want. I can pass this on to someone else. I could do this myself. Joy is out there, just waiting for people to grab it and do it. But we're
Yeah.
so busy looking for shit to complain about and shit to say that I didn't do that we forget. People are starving in the middle of a cotton candy factory. Grab some
Yeah.
cotton candy, have some fun. Stop thinking about the steak and start eating what you have there and have some fun, for Christ's sake. Stop thinking about the what ifs and start looking at the oh wows. Okay?
Yeah, and you're right. Absolutely. That is what awe is all about. And I mean, if somebody is really not happy with where they are in life right now, no matter what age they are, it's take the time to figure out, okay, what is it that you do want? Do you know what
Yeah.
that is? We go back to, I think one of our very first episodes was knowing yourself, know thyself,
Yeah.
and being aware of your values, your interests, and your experiences and the things that light you up. Um, and if you don't know what those are, then yeah, start exploring and trying new things and see
Yeah.
how does this feel? How does that feel? Like Goldilocks, the three bears. Try this
Yeah.
bed.
Try the beds, find a comfortable one, then get the hell out of there. Bears are coming. Um,
Yeah.
just saying.
Basically.
Georgia says, "Why? This is why we scroll through reels. We grab joy to pass it on and pass it on." Absolutely. Look back, and if you can't look back at your life and find all negative. Here's the thing: you're going to
Yeah.
find what you look for. How's that? Let me tell you that. If I scroll
Yeah,
through a book looking
absolutely.
for one word, that's all I'm going to see is that one word. But if I scroll through the book looking for just anything that strikes my fancy, then I get a mixed bag. But if I scroll through the book looking for happiness, I'll find happiness. If I scroll through my life looking for happiness and in moments that bring joy, moments that brought happy tears, happy smiles, happy faces, music in my life, art in my life, people in my life, people like you and people like Therese and people that I care about with all my heart that are in my life. If I look at those and stop looking at all those horrible moments and start looking at those wonderful moments, God, I've got a great life. I've got
Oh
a
yeah.
fantastic life.
And you know what? You can train your Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube or Google or whatever. Start feeding it things like happy moments. Like search for things, because then
Yeah,
you're going to train the model, right? You're going to train the model to feed you and send you more of the good stuff. Same with if you're on TikTok or whatever social media stuff you like to consume. Be intentional about the things that you look for and like, and it will send you more of that stuff. Right?
yeah.
Garbage in, garbage in, garbage out. So you might as well bring some good stuff in to your mental and visual diet that you
Look,
want. So tomorrow maybe I'll go in and type daisies, and daisies are my favorite flower.
check
Um,
your pop-up ads. Check your pop-up ads. They're going to tell you how you're doing. If you're scrolling through stuff and you get pop-up ads saying, "Hey, check out Five Flags amusement park," and "Hey, check out the Water World," and this and that, they're expecting you're a fun person. If
yeah.
if every ad that pops up says, "Don't forget your friends at the suicide hotline," then we got to start thinking about what are we searching for out there? What are we putting out into the
Yeah.
universe that brings back sadness? You know, do you believe in the law of what I put out, I get back? Do you believe in that?
The law of attraction?
Well, about what I put out in the universe, I will get back.
Oh, yeah, I do believe in that. And I think, yeah, because if you want more kindness, then the best way to do it is to give kindness.
Yes.
Same with compassion. You want more compassion for you, then give compassion to other people, because it does have a forward effect and eventually a boomerang effect, like
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, for sure, I believe in
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
And if you're going to throw it out there that I'm dissatisfied, that's all the feelings that are come back to you are going to be negative feelings.
Yeah.
Because you're putting it out there. You're fishing for that stuff.
Yeah.
You have baited your line. You have baited the hook with a bait that will attract negative things. But if you're fishing for positive, you'll get positive back. If you throw positive out there, the kindness that you share others, the happiness. Teresa sharing about her granddaughter. She is a happy, sassy, funny little person.
Sassy.
That's
I
what
love that
kids
word.
should be. Happy, what,
That's
sassy?
right.
Should
Yeah,
be
sassy.
happy
I
and
like sassy.
sassy. Happy, sassy, all of that stuff.
Happy sass. We
So
should be
here's the
happy and
thing.
sassy too.
No matter
And
what
I
point,
think
well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when these kinds of moods or thoughts or feeling like a crisis strikes, it's really a time, like, figure out what's actually making you unhappy. Like, what is the thing that's actually making you unhappy? What is it? Is it your job? Is it your finances? Is it, and I think Georgia brought something up earlier about this, about look at your life, look at your health, your finances, your relationship, your career, your mindset, and examine each one and go, okay, so where, which one of these things, like, rate each one. So there's a wheel of life exercise that I'm sure most people have heard about. Each section in that wheel is an aspect of your life. Rate it. And if you're a 4 out of 10 in this one, is that something you want to improve on? Or is it fine for it to be a 4? Okay, fine. Move on to
Right.
the next thing. Move on to finances. Finances, okay. Is that what's making you unhappy? Um, see if you can improve it. See if you can set new goals for yourself in whatever aspect of your life, whatever aspect.
But can you do all of that and stay in balance? I want finances, so I'm going to put 100% into finances. Well, when you're doing that, you're taking time away from other things. So
Yeah.
remember, are you finding what you need in balance too? I know, Teresa will tell you, but I know there's times when I've gotten so involved in work, nothing else existed around me, really. I've just
Yeah.
been that way. And it didn't mean I was even working every moment, but even when I was home, my brain was at work. My
Yeah.
thoughts were thinking about this. Right now, I'm building a company, and it's been 3 years that we've been doing it, but we started it during COVID. We're finally coming out the other side with, unfortunately, we've had some bad business dealings, and we've got somebody who would rather tear us down than help us out at this point, and we've got to deal with that legally. We got other things going on. But you know what? It's a choice we made to build something, and I have to put a lot of effort into it. And that's why I'm not out chasing relationships or doing those things now, because it's not fair to do that to another person. When things settle down, then maybe I'll think about relationships and other things. Right now, I've got people that I care about and I love in my. So when you evaluate things, look at them for what they really are. Don't just look at it and say, well, I don't have that. Well, yeah, but the reason you don't have that is because you chose to have this instead.
Yeah. And I
Do I
agree
have a
with
lot
that
of financial freedom? No, I chose to have 3 freaking children. That's what I chose to do.
too.
That's why I don't have financial freedom right now. Do I, how come I don't have a bigger house? Because I chose to invest my money in my company instead of investing it
Yeah.
in my house. How come I don't have this or that or all these other things? How come I didn't do that? Because I chose to do these other things. Don't beat yourself up for your choices. If you don't like them, the next time a choice comes, make a different one. Just
Yeah.
start over. If you're going to spend all your time regretting the things you didn't do, your head's going to be so far up your ass, you're not going to see where you're walking, so you're not going anywhere in your future either. Okay? Unless you have a glass belly button installed, you're screwed, okay? You've got to take your head out of your butt, say what happened happened, where do I want to go now, and then go.
Where do I want to go? Yeah, where do I want to go now? And where do I want to focus my energy on? Which thing or which 3 things or something? Today I was having a conversation with someone who was saying to me, "Mary, you're still not in a relationship?" And it's like, "No." "Do you want to be?" "Yeah, I would like to be." Okay, so then she's like, "Well, what are you doing about it?" Nothing.
Then I guess it's not that high of a priority for you.
It's like, well,
It
yeah,
is,
I
but it
guess
isn't. It is, but it isn't.
it is, but it isn't, right? So I haven't been focusing my time and energy on trying to figure that out. I don't know what that would look like, really.
Stay away from the dating sites, please.
Yeah, well, I am on a dating site, except I'm not paying attention to it, which means it's doing nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Great. You got 300
So,
Canadian guys up there lined up saying, when is she going to answer?
well, no, I think I'm the one with the bad behavior because I might send a message and say hi and then forget to go into the app for a week, at which point they've already written me off. Rightly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, focusing on the things that you want to change, you've got to put some effort into them. You can't just wish for them.
And if you really want them bad enough, you'll do them. And if you didn't do them, maybe stop hurting yourself for not making the effort. And maybe just ask yourself, I wonder why I didn't make the effort. What is it that's holding me back? Why, if I kind of want a relationship or I do want a relationship, why am I holding back on really trying to get one? What is it? And maybe there's something in there saying, I have something left undone that I have to do for me first.
Yeah.
I know that this period of time in my life has been the greatest time in my life that I've improved on myself. I haven't had a chance to do that before. I've always had the focus of another person in my life, even my kids or a relationship, a wife or fiance or girlfriend. I've always had somebody to focus on. And I love loving people. I really do. I love love. I'm a very romantic guy or have a romantic heart. The problem is I never loved myself. I never really liked me. So all the love that I gave to other people was just kind of very surface because it couldn't be real deep because I didn't care a lot about me. So what I realized is like, I want a relationship very badly in my life. What I didn't realize is the relationship that I really wanted all along was the one with me, the one where I could look at me and say, relationship or no relationship, you're all right. You're a
Yeah.
good person. You care about people. You care about yourself. You don't hate yourself. You're not constantly berating yourself. I want to do all those things the way I always wanted to treat women in this very respectful, lovely way that makes them happy and smile. I needed to learn to do that for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking myself out to movies and dinners and buying myself flowers. I'm not doing that. But I'm sitting and playing my guitar, and I'm sitting and painting, and I'm taking little walks, and I'm talking to people, and I'm doing those things to improve that relationship. So it was true. I wanted a relationship. I wanted a loving, caring relationship. But the one I needed, the one I really wanted, was the one with me first. And see, now it opens up the possibilities for everybody else.
Yeah. And we totally align on that path as
Yeah, we
well,
do.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I stopped I took a break from dating, like actual dating. Still meeting people, but not for dating purposes, out of interest, really. Um, so yeah, and that was one of the things for me too, is I had to learn, not had to, wanted to learn to have that better relationship with myself and to not judge myself and to cut myself some slack. Um, and really figure it and stop putting pressure on myself too for a lot of things. So I even told my boss, you know what? I don't want a promotion. And I
Yeah.
hope that's okay. Right. And even if it's not, I don't care. I don't want a promotion.
And they
I'm
look at
happy
you
at
like you just grew 3 heads in front of them or something. It's like, what's wrong with
yeah.
what's wrong
Yeah.
with
It
me
doesn't,
saying this is what I want right now? And that's all I
it,
want. What's wrong with that?
yeah. Cause right now there are different things that are important to me that
That's
are
right.
in the priority list. 10 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Financial, um, financial things were very important as a single mom and trying to just get that set up for myself. And now it's like, yeah, okay, I definitely want to work. Um, but I don't need to keep climbing that ladder. It's just
Right.
not necessary. I want to be able to log in when I want, excuse me, do my work, log out when I want, midday maybe go for a walk with the dog again. Um, Spend time with my family. Like one of my priorities now, even though it came to me, it's not something I sought, is taking care of my parents and being their
Yeah.
primary caregiver, with what they need. And if I was chasing a promotion and if I got a promotion, it's probably going to cut into that. Probably. Um, or I'd be really stressed out because I had to miss this meeting because I had to do this or I had to do that, or one of my staff is having an issue. And then I would have to make up for that after I stressed out about it. So anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here, but um, yeah, things like I don't want a promotion, and I'm okay to say that out loud because I have these other priorities right now, which are important to me, and it's my choice, and we're all different.
Absolutely.
Mm.
George is adding resistance. I believe it as rejection is God's redirection. Rejection is
Oh,
God's redirection. He has something better waiting for you.
I love
If you're
that.
Georgia, if your eyes are open, I believe it's the old saying: when one door closes, another door opens. But if you're standing at the door if you're standing in front of the door that closed and staring directly at that and feeling sorry for yourself, you'll never see the one that opens behind you. Your eyes must be open. Your higher power, your God, your spirit, your spirit animal, whatever guides you in your life. There is opportunities all the time. Just as being a human being connected to all the other billions of human beings out there, that we're all made of the same material, connected in some scientific, cosmic, spiritual way. There's always going to be something to do. But it only
Hmm.
is possible if your eyes are open and if you're present enough to look around you and say, there's an open door over there.
Yeah,
Stop
and be
waiting for somebody else
open-minded.
to Stop waiting for somebody to carry you across the threshold. You didn't get freaking married. You need to
Yeah,
make possibilities work for you. You need to walk across the threshold. You need to make it happen.
preach it.
I'm telling you. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, we have just a couple moments left in the show.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that you know, I love the idea of talking about things like midlife crisis because it's something that, in a way, shape, or form, everybody faces it. But what I'm saying is maybe this is something that we should just face every day, or maybe
Yeah.
once a month or once a year, to sit there and just give yourself a quick evaluation. Am I doing what makes me happy? Am I doing what I love to do? Does this path that I'm on serve me, or am I doing it to serve others? Does it not serve me? You know, to reevaluate. Stop looking at it
Hmm.
like a crisis. Start looking at it like this is my midlife report card. You know, when you go to
Yeah.
school, you get report cards. They don't wait until you go through. They don't put you in kindergarten, and when you graduate high school, they give you one report card for the whole time. No, they give you report cards. They give you interim reports. They give you phone calls and sit downs with your parents. A lot of those for me. Um, they give you all of those things so that you know the path you're on and how to adjust to make things better. Pay attention to what's going on in your life. Take a look at your life all the time. Stop waiting until those moments when you feel like you're facing your own mortality to look at your life and say, I don't like what I did. Take a look at it today. And if you don't like what you're doing, make a choice. Make a choice, make a
Hmm.
difference, make a change. If Mary Kay and I could share anything with you, it's never too late. I don't care if you're out there right now and you're 95 years old and you've always lived your life a certain way, but you want to change it. If it changes
Yeah.
for one freaking day, it was worth doing. It was
Yeah.
absolutely worth doing. Georgia's giving us a little sign off here. Thank you, Scott and Mary Kay. You are two beautiful souls sharing your light and love.
Oh.
I needed you both today, and I'm truly grateful. Georgia, I am honestly serious that we would love to have you on the show. Love to talk to you. I know that you and I met. We met for a couple hours. We walked on fire together, and then I never saw you again, and you never saw me. But you had a terrific soul yourself. So we would love to speak with you. Just talk to you about anything that happens to come to mind. We're all in that kind of age group together. So,
Mhm.
but I won't tell anybody your age because I really don't know. So I'm not going to make it up. Let's just say she's past 30. All right. Uh, Mary Kay, how do you want to wrap this up today?
Woo, wrap it up. I think, whatever is going on, it is an opportunity. Any challenge you're facing, think of it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to accept it and let it go. It is what it is, right? There's nothing wrong with saying it is what it is, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything about that. Or it's something, it's an opportunity for you to think, okay, well, what can what changes can I make? What small tweaks can I make? You use the word adjustment.
Yeah.
Scott, I like that word. And redirection. And if we can find a way to get in touch with our intuition, our body tells us if something is right or wrong. Our body tells us, do we stop knocking at this door? Um, Follow our intuition, follow our curiosity, bring some
Yeah.
awe into your day. And
Absolutely.
yeah, keep smiling. Life isn't always great. And but you can bring joy. Instead of finding joy, bring some joy into your day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, you know, joy isn't a matter of going on a treasure hunt and finding the spot marked X and digging deep underground. Joy's always been there. Joy's about
Yeah.
letting go of all the crap that you put on top of it. You were born with joy. You were born laughing when you're tickled and smiling when your mom looked down in your face and making those giggle sounds that babies make. And growing up, we had joy. And as we got older, we put more and more shit on top of that. Expectations and acting like this and being an adult and being a man and being a woman and all those things. You want joy, you know what? Strip all that stuff away. Find out who you are at the core and start over. Because at
And
the
have
core,
fun.
we are all beings of joy and love and universe, and we all belong exactly where we are. And again, if you don't like where you're at, turn your sails, start going a different direction. It's never too late. I want to thank everybody for being here,
Whew.
Georgia, Therese, and Jean, and everyone else who has been out there today. We appreciate you guys being with us. Next week, we'll be back at our normal time at 7:00. And we'll let you know. I think we got some special guests lined up. We're going to be checking in with Georgia. We'll get her on the show very soon. And
Woo!
definitely have Therese back at one point because that was always fun with her too.
Oh yeah, we have to have Lynn back too. Happy travels to Lynn
Oh,
in Denver, at Denver Airport. Safe travels. She's probably offline now.
I think she's probably offline now. I know she's going to be in
Yeah.
Florida for a few weeks. I don't know if I get a chance to hang out with her a little bit.
Oh,
If we do, we'll
nice.
definitely do a show together from the studio here.
Yes.
And
That would be awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely. But for everybody out there, thank you so much for joining us. You've been watching The Life Between All or Nothing with Scott J. and Mary Kay. All I can tell you is make sure that you're doing what makes you happy in life. God bless you all. We'll catch you next
God
time.
bless. Bye.